It might be a battle, and it turned out to be a brilliant one. Just tell us how you enjoyed that.
Not sure that enjoy is the right word, but it was not sure if you use that phrase, but a wild ride. They deserved their 3 goals for the way they played. We obviously couldn't deal with that properly with these long balls today for different reasons. We should have scored more goals. We had incredible chances. They had, I think, 1 more first half when Joel cleared off the line pretty much. Second half, can't remember any chances of them apart from the goals. And I said they deserved it. They deserved it. We played offensively or with the ball. I don't think you can control them much better. So because we created a lot of chances, clear-cut chances, played offensively really well, but couldn't deal with them today defensively.
When you look back at the chances, will you look at Mo Salah's one where he just chipped it over, and will that be the one that keeps you up?
No, these things happen. It was brilliant play. The pass from Robbo to Diogo turns, 2 touches, Sadio 1 touch, next pass, and Mo alone in front of the goal. It's brilliant football. And then you have to accept that. Mo scores usually in these situations, today not. There's absolutely nothing to say about. I really liked how we connected up front, how we played together. That was all good. How I said, we should have scored more. But then, look, if we win 3-2 or 4-3, we still had these struggles defensively. That's how it is. They did incredibly well. Tony and Bumo really did really well. And so it was really tricky for the boys. But first half, it was more like the second balls we didn't pick up in midfield. And then second half around the goals, it was just they deflect the balls and are always in a better position than us. We can do better in this situation. We just didn't today, and that's then, of course, not really satisfying. But how I said, spectacular game, and Brentford deserved the point.
There was a moment as well, because their keeper Raya made some brilliant saves, and there was a moment just towards the end of the game where even you and Thomas Frank looked at each other as if to say, "Wow."
Yeah. No, that's how it is. I have no problem with accepting that. When you play this kind of football, I'm not sure it was the last chance, probably it was, top ball from Trent to Sadio calm, pass ball square, and then I'm not sure why Bobby doesn't touch the ball, the goalie touched a little bit, the centre half touched a little bit. So, how I said, that's football. And you have to create these things that you deserve to win. We would have deserved to win today because we had much more chances than Brentford. But they deserved the point as well because they was a proper fight. First half, the very first chance, they defend, nearly knocks the post down, stuff like this. So that's I respect that a lot, but in the end, there were other situations where we should have done better. And if we would have done better, then it would be a completely different game, because then we cut off the only thing they did today. That's completely fine, but that was the goalie should have number 10 on his back. So with the balls he played, and that's tricky to defend. But how I said, we should have done better.
There was some.
He did 3 goals in the Premier League, and that's their first choice back 4 that turned out tonight. Why did they look so vulnerable this evening for you?
I have no idea. It's because they've only conceded 1 all season prior to this game, and it was against Chelsea.
But they've looked nervous every time Brentford got out.
They look nervous today. They look really nervous today. I said that at half-time. Every time the ball went forward, they look vulnerable. I don't know why, because normally Matip, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk and Andy Robertson are solid, aren't they? Yeah. They're experienced players. Normally they cruise through games. They didn't today. They got a shock to the system. And whether that means Jurgen will make a change for Man City next week. He's got Joe Gomez fit and well, of course, who played midweek against Norwich. He's got Canate, who's played against Palace and Norwich midweek. So they've had game time. So you wonder whether Manchester City will play a completely different way than what Brentford did, but they look vulnerable. That area of Matip and Trent Alexander-Arnold, they stayed away from Virgil van Dijk and Andy Robertson on that side of the pitch. Everything was directed there. They loaded up the back posts, and it was predominantly on the side of Trent and Matip, and they caused them numerous problems. And that means, and it shows what they've done. They've done their homework extensively, and they know the weakness in Liverpool's defence is there, that area, and that might show a number of other teams as Liverpool move forward.
And what does that do to the players' confidence, I suppose, as a defensive unit, before they take on Manchester City at Anfield on Sunday?
Well, Macca makes a good point. It's a different test. That is almost harder to play against than it is to play against Man City. Because with Man City, you know that they're going to keep the ball and they're normally in front of you. What they did is the ball was up in the air, it was long and direct, and because they won the first header, when the ball gets on the deck, the second phase, the pitch opens up. And I think Brentford deserve a ton of credit for identifying the fact, long balls, direct balls, Liverpool struggle with that. We've seen that. And they capitalise on that today. And that the manager, Thomas Frank, deserves a ton of praise.
And also, they got the midfielders pushing right up with them, didn't they? It wasn't just a long ball, second header, and everybody's defending.
Yeah.
The midfielders were right up with them helping, just in case the second ball fell. And I thought Tony, he won so many headers up against Matip and Van Dijk. And he's been renowned for his scoring ability, of course, but now it shows you that he can also mix it up with the big centre defenders as well. And I thought that was a real impressive part, because he's not physically big, is he? But you can see he grows onto the pitch, and he's turning to be a real leader for Brentford.
You get the impression he's got a point to prove. I mean, he was at Newcastle for a spell in the Premier League. It just didn't work out for him back then.
Manish, he got 33 goals last season in the Championship. So
but that's in the second tier.
No, but you've got to still score. The boy can score. But what he did today is, Van Dijk's going to come out of that game and never forget his name, because he remembered the energy and effort he put into every challenge.
Yeah, I think it was an incredible crowd today. 1-0 for Liverpool, 1-1, and again, and now we play 3-3 against Liverpool. I think it was the dream from all kids, and now I stay here and have this incredible fans.
Does it almost feel like a win?
Yeah, for us, of course. In the game, before the game, we say we tried the best against Liverpool. I think it's one of the best teams in the world. And now we play 3-3, a draw, and yeah, it feels like a win.
You played your part in it. You scored your goal, your first Premier League goal. What sort of emotions does that bring up?
Yeah, I can't believe it. It's very nice. You heard all the fans. It was my first Premier League goal. I think, I'm proud of me and hope come more.
Was this a great example of this never say die attitude that Brentford have, that you never give up?
Yeah, I think so, because Liverpool, I say, this is one of the best teams in the world, and I think they was 2 times in a row in front, and we score, we come back, and I think we all have the mentality that we know we have the quality to score, and maybe if we have a bit luck, we score the 4-3, and
What did you make of this crowd, your fans today?
Yeah, they are always incredible. I think when we win, when we draw, or when we lose, I think the fans are every time unbelievable. We lose against Brighton and we go around to the fans, and it's incredible.
How do you feel that you're settling in to life in the Premier League at the moment? Because Brentford look like they're here to stay.
Yeah, I think we all do it well. Now we have 2 wins, 2 draws and 1 lose, I think. 9 points in the first 6 games. We come up, we promote last year, so I think it's good. Now we have to work more, and we don't know. We'll see next week against West Ham.
Is there more improvement to be made for this Brentford side? How far can you go?
Sorry?
Is there more improvement, do you feel, for this Brentford side?
Yeah, I think we watch from every game, so we watch from game to game, and we don't say, of course, we don't want to relegate, but we will see in the end of the season where we are.
Hansi Flick was in the crowd today, the German manager, watching on. Did you know that before the game? Was it in your head at all?
Yeah, I know it before the game, but it was not in my head. So always when I'm on the pitch, I play my game, or I try to play the best. And of course, it's a nice feeling when he's here.
Yeah, a bit of pressure to have the national coach watching on as well. How impressed, or what impressed you particularly about the way Brentford went about their business tonight, then, Owen?
Everything, everything about them. I think the goalkeeper is fantastic. I thought they defended the box incredibly well. We saw that. I think only City and Chelsea had conceded less before this game. So defensively, really good.
And Liverpool, and they just scored 3 against them.
Exactly. So at the top of the pitch, they're good. The goalie's good. The defence is pretty solid. And they play football when they can. I know they didn't, excuse me, I know they didn't have a lot of the ball. But when they had it, they tried to play. And the important thing is they played to their strengths. And the manager deserves a ton of praise for setting them up the way that they did. They deserved a point against, one of the best teams in this country, and they were fantastic.
Yeah. They were always in the game. Even when Liverpool were leading, you never felt comfortable. If you were a Liverpool fan, you never felt as if at 2-1 or 3-2, Liverpool was safe. They needed to get another goal and get the 2-goal lead, because Brentford always looked dangerous. And it wasn't as if they played through the park a lot of the time. It was nice, pretty football. They knew what was going to worry Liverpool, and they played to that strength. And it was that direct ball. I'm not saying it was a long ball, because it wasn't, but it was a direct ball, and they knew that Tony was causing all kinds of trouble, and Bueno was causing all kinds of trouble, and then they were getting the midfield runners up with them, and they deserved it in the end. Their constant pressure and their attitude and their energy made them, you know, when they got the third goal, you thought fair play to them because they deserved it.
Story of the second half. We were talking at half-time, weren't we, that Liverpool couldn't afford another slow start as they did in the first 45, and they were much better. And Mohamed Salah with his milestone goal.
I'll tell you what, I don't think Fabinho gets enough credit for these balls that he plays. You know, these balls over the top. Mo Salah's always on the shoulder there. He's so good at that, Mac, isn't he? Getting in that position. Obviously, see that he's been played on side there by the right wing-back, but great ball and a fantastic finish.
Yeah. And quite ironic, really, that he brings up the milestone with a typical kind of Salah goal.
Yeah, it was. Lovely ball, as Owen rightly said about Fabinho. Eye on it. From 2 or 3 yards out, you'd expect it to go in. Sergi Canos was playing them onside, clearly. But once they got to that point, 2-1 ahead, that's when they should have, you know, controlled the game then. But look at those numbers. I mean, the fact that he's the fastest to 100 goals with the centre-forwards Liverpool have had of late. You know, Michael, who was in earlier on, Robbie Fowler, the likes of those people in there, Roger Hunt, Ian Rush. I mean, that is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal record by.
And you're quite right to stress that. Obviously, because you're from those parts.
Yes.
Those guys are revered.
Yes, they are living legends, a lot of them. And for him to do it, he's a very humble character, as we all know.
Yeah.
Very quiet, doesn't do many interviews, doesn't shout his own name from the rooftops. But all you have to do is look at numbers like that. And then you sit back and think, wow, what an achievement, what a career he's had at Liverpool, and he's still going strong.
Yeah, but as the guys have already mentioned, you can't discount Brentford. They carried on fighting. And we heard from the man himself, Yanni VanElt. He himself got on the score sheet here, Owen.
Yeah, well, look how many bodies they get for Manish. You know, that is a fantastic ball to buy. Stood up at the back post. Trent really struggled with the ball at the back post. They keep it alive. You know, I don't think there was much luck in that. They just worked really hard. This is a great ball. There's 3 bodies at the back there, 3v1 against Trent. Smashes it off the crossbar, keeps it alive. And that's a brave header. Normally, you know you could be in trouble there. You could get clattered. But he realises there's a goal in it. And he just pops it in against Van Dijk. And they deserved it.
I mean, the first pass there, it was from the goalkeeper. Yeah. Fading it to the right wing. So this wasn't a fluke of a goal. No. It was a deliberate pass from the keeper. And they worked their way through. And as Owen said, the fact that they've got 5, 6 bodies forwards, putting pressure on that far post, it was as if ball to the far post, you don't even have to look. It's ball to the far post, and I know I'll have my teammates steaming in. And there was 1, 2, 3 causing problems.
That's a good point. That's a recurring theme with Brentford we've seen this season. Set plays, they are particularly dangerous. You can see they've already worked on them in the training ground.
Oh, yeah. But you're fine working on them, but having the energy, having the attitude to be down to a good team and to keep on piling forward and make it come off, that's what you have to, you know, really give them credit for. They epitomise that never say die attitude. We're going to stay in this game. We're not going to let Liverpool get away from us. And that's what really inspired me today looking at them. When you look at them, you think to yourself, even now at the beginning of the season, you think to yourself, they're going to be all right in this.
They're a good watch, aren't they?
They're going to be okay. Yeah. They're going to stay up. You look at other teams and you think, oh, they're a bit soft. They're going to lose game after game after game. Not these. No. Especially at that stadium. If they play like that, they are going to be fine.
Liverpool came back. Curtis Jones making his first Premier League start this season, then put Liverpool ahead once more, just when his number was literally up and Jurgen Klopp was thinking of taking him off, Owen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you could think they could make a change there, but he's got this in the bag. I mean, Maka knows him better than anyone. He's coached him in the youth teams. He's got quality. Absolutely smashes that. I know it takes a deflection, but this is what he's got to do. Get on the ball and affect the game. Create goals and score goals. That is an absolute clean as a whistle, smashes it. I know it takes a deflection, but he tries, and that is a fantastic goal for him. He didn't have a great game, but he can produce big moments, and he did there.
Actually, just one thing on the defending. You said at the time, Steve, why is the defender going for that ball? Why were you saying that at the time?
Because I just don't think he needed to. I think the goalkeeper was always going to get it. If the defender can clear his lines, Manish, no problem at all. If he's there to block it, but I just don't see why the ball has travelled 20 yards or 10 yards. Let's say. Sorry, I'm a bit. Why are you throwing yourself at that like that off your knee? If you can't get it, that shouldn't be going past the goalkeeper. A powerful shot like that. But as soon as you chuck your body at it, deflection, the goalkeeper's in trouble. So if you can get it and get a good block on it, no problem. But if you're dangling body parts out where you know you're not in control of your body, then you're in trouble, really. And I just don't think he needed to get after that today.
One thing with Curtis Jones, you spoke about how it was a bit of a mixed evening as far as he was concerned. He's got a midfield slot there to make his own with 3 midfielders currently out injured. Did he enhance his reputation for you or not?
Yeah, his reputation's fine. I just feel he has to influence the game a little bit more. Knowing the person as he is and knowing the player that he is, I know he can influence the game further up the field. He doesn't necessarily need to be a midfielder passing sideways. Anybody can do that, especially in Liverpool's team. They've always got more possession than most teams. There's always lots of space. You can always go side to side. He needs to play further forward. He needs to assist more. He needs to score more goals, which he has done tonight with a little bit of luck through the deflection. But if he wants to stay in the team or get in front of Thiago or get in front of Harvey Elliott or get in front of, Oxlade-Chamberlain, which he is, he needs to keep on improving, I think.
Yeah. OK. Well, Jones' goal made it 3-2. How good a chance was this for Mohamed Salah to make it 4-2?
Yeah, I mean, Maka said on the counter, and they were so dangerous. Mane and Salah, perfect players for this. And you think, I mean, I was a bit surprised that just by the touch is good. This link-up play is fantastic. He's onside, obviously, takes the touch, but I think he's just in between thoughts.
He was.
With the finish. You see it just bobble up there, and it just, because it bobbles up, he just skies it. Normally, I think that's in the back of the net, isn't it, Maka?
Yeah, I thought he was going to go first with his left foot, because he's left-footed. It's ideal to go around the goalkeeper with, a lot of spin, because he could have easily done that. And I was the same. I think he just got caught in two minds, because he had so much time. He's had a touch, but then I know it did bobble up. But even his finish, because it was with his laces, it was always just going to go straight to the goalkeeper. He could never ever get it over the goalkeeper and down, not from that type of angle.
Well, talking of finishes, what about this one from Johan Visser to make it 3-3?
Yeah, I mean, again, they're chasing the game, but they're getting plenty of bodies forward.
All at the far post again.
Yeah,
obviously.
I mean, they overloaded Trent the whole game. And this, I mean, it's just some finish over one of the best goalkeepers in the world. A dink with your left foot. I mean, class. And you just have to say it was a classy goal. And the fact of the matter is, that there's plenty of bodies at the back there, but they win it. They're on the end of it. The first one, the second one, to keep it alive. Alisson comes out as a goalkeeper would, but the quality of the finish, Maka, was top.
Yeah, brilliant. Liverpool very stationary. Jota ball watching. Matip gets on the wrong side of Trent when he goes to ground. The only people who were moving, expecting the worst to happen and fall to them, with the Brentford players, and it was an adept finish, wasn't it? Nice little left-footed chip and
nice celebration. Although we have seen that before, I just wonder where. We saw David Raya, the Brentford keeper, make a terrific save in the first half, but at 3-3, he was called into action again.
Yeah, this was a different type of save, but equally as important, because you think Firmino gets it initially, but it doesn't. It comes off one of his own players. So actually, you see here, comes off there, and he's already going to ground. So the fact that he makes the stop falls to Henry to clear his lines. But again, they deserve that little tiny bit of luck, because his performance was brilliant.
That is brilliant, isn't it? That shot between the two managers. Yeah,
I can almost assure you Klopp is going to be full of praise for that Brentford team. He will love the energy and effort they played with, and he knows they had a proper game today. But Raya was amazing. Tony was amazing. I mean, so many of their players put in top performance. Raya probably just nicked it with those two world-class saves.
They've enhanced their reputation, though, haven't they?
Yeah.
Tony looks a really good player now. 6 games in the Premier League, looks as if he can easily cope. Goalkeeper looked excellent today. The only thing is, the more they enhance themselves, the more vulnerable they are to some bigger teams just saying, right, we're taking him now, because Tony, as a centre-forward, someone will take him, no problem at all.